but you know your way around.
This is Bob Rayner. Bob, he represents our higher tier brands in the world of electronics. There is only one brand name in the world of GPS that does the type of business that Garmin does. And this is all they do.
Because they only do navigation. They don't have somebody else make it and then have their name put on it or something.
This one's brand new. This is the new
Today.
55LM. It's got some really cool features to it, and it's got some great accessories that we weren't able to offer before. We're into travel season. There's this rumor it's going to get warmer out. Spring break
Hope so.
is coming up for a lot of people. This is also the GPS that you use every single day. And I know a lot of you rely on your cell phones. A cell phone cannot give you GPS directions the way a Garmin can.
It's a compromise.
Yep.
I mean, you wouldn't make phone calls on your GPS, so why try it the other way around? Yeah.
Let's talk about everything that comes with it, and we'll talk about some of the new features. Can I jump into this one?
Certainly.
It doesn't look like much, but this is the #1 most often purchased accessory with the Garmin. So our thought process was, give it to people.
Right.
At a price of $119.98 feature price. This clips onto the little vent for your air conditioning and your heater system. So that you no longer have to put this up on your dashboard. That way you can put it where your eyesight is readily, it's easy to find it, and it also keeps it out of view of other individuals.
Right.
It's also the big screen. That's the 5-inch.
5-inch.
They've got, in my personal opinion, a superior mounting system if you want to mount to your dashboard.
And not a minor consideration, Dan, when you hit bumps and stuff and the inferior mounts flop and flip and everything, or it gets too cold or hot and they fall off, that's the best mount we've ever seen.
And all these accessories are Garmin accessories. So here's your charger. Then you also get a USB cable. And the reason for that, because you bought it here at QVC, your maps, you can update them for as long as you own your Garmin, for the life of this machine.
Free.
For free. Just to update the maps, and they do it, what, 4 times a year?
4 times a year.
Which, by the way, that doesn't sound like a lot, but that is a massive
hundreds of thousands of street names change. In fact, one year there were over 100,000 changes in direction in one-way streets in the United States, believe it or not. So you want to keep up with all of that. Plus all our points of interest and everything. Businesses open, businesses close, new housing developments come. That's why map updates are so important, and you pay nothing for them for the life of the time you own your Garmin.
My producer Frank got in my ear and he goes, you know, everything is always under construction.
Indeed, at least in Pennsylvania.
Well, let's run them through a demonstration.
Sure.
It's not enough to just tell me how to get from point A to point B. It does that very, very well.
Right. Well, the #1 thing, I say this all the time when we present these, is that the customer feedback from QVC is how easy it is to use, right? Garmin is the very best. Well, here's how easy it is to use. When you turn it on, it asks you 2 questions. View the map. In other words, do you want to see where you are exactly? And you'll see yourself located there, and you can get all kinds of views and zoom in and out and in up close or far back. Other question, where to? So where do you want to go, Dan? Well, you can go home. You can have the comfort of knowing you can go home. You can program an address in there using a keyboard like you would any other device.
And a nice big keyboard.
Big keyboard there. Some things you want to find all the time: restaurants, gas stations, shopping centers, shortcuts. You can search for things like pizza or something like that and put it in there. And then there are all sorts of categories you might want to find: shopping, everyday life, emergency locations, and all that stuff. So let's go through one sequence real quick to show how easy it is. You ready? Here we go. We'll just tap where to. How about places we've recently found? Let's go to Hughes Boulevard, Mr. Hughes. And touch go. So in about 2 or 3 taps, calculating turn-by-turn directions. Do I want to go there? Yes, I do. Less than 5 seconds, Dan, we have found our way, turn-by-turn directions, which, by the way, are spoken out loud if I turn up the volume.
It's as if you've got a local sitting in the seat next to you going, a local doesn't say, turn left 300 feet up. If I knew how far 300 feet was, I wouldn't need a GPS. It'll say, coming up, you want to turn left on Maple Street.
That's right.
Or whatever the name of the street is.
Text-to-speech, that's
called. It really helps. We don't have a lot of these. This is the launch of this piece.
Brand new today.
Brand new, the 55LM. By the way, what you're looking at is the same unit that you can set up on either one of these views by just flipping it, like your
portrait or landscape mode. Now, this is the first time at this price we've been able to add that new feature, portrait or landscape, fit it anywhere in your car.
And I like that because it gives you a more elongated view. There's a lot of space here that I think is wasted on roads that I don't need on either side. That gives you a longer vantage point.
Indeed it
This
does.
unit will also, again, not just tell you how to get to where you're going, it will even tell you what lane you should be in.
Right.
And give you what looks like road signs right there for your view, so that it aids you in making those right decisions when you're out. And I know you've actually traveled with the Garmin
Yes,
team
I've
as they're
actually ridden
mapping
with the
roads.
radar crews and the cartographers getting this data. They actually shoot video, and what you're seeing there is as you approach your upcoming turn, notice in the upper left of the screen there, in 0.3 miles, you need to be in those 2 highlighted lanes out of the 6 lanes there. And see what else happened? The map moved to the side, and on the right-hand side, you see a photorealistic image of exactly the same thing that's out the windshield.
junction view.
Look, and even the signs are replicated from the
Yes.
bridge there on your GPS, but the GPS adds the nice feature of painting big red arrows on the map, on the GPS, making it virtually impossible for you to make a wrong turn.
What it does is it alleviates stress.
And that's huge.
It alleviates those split-second bad decisions
That
when
could
you're on the road.
dangerous. It could be dangerous. Right?
This isn't just about giving you directions. It's about making you a safer driver and making other people around you safer. Here's a good example. On this unit, it will actually tell you when you're coming up to school zones. Now the locals
In fact, I can
will
show
know
you that here.
But if you're traveling in an area and
a
you
look.
don't know the area, by the way, the fines in a traffic
For schools, yeah. Watch this.
Are
I think
way
I
up
have
there,
it. I
and they
think I
should
can
be.
show you it happen right
In
here.
1 mile, turn left on Bondsville Road.
And in just a few moments, this is in an area near where I live, right? You'll see actually the school actually will appear there, and the warning will
And you
come
get a
up.
little bell.
And it gets a little
Little school
bell,
bell.
and it gives you a school zone warning. And boy, I'll tell you, the fines for school buses and school zone violations are tremendous.
And they should be, because we want to keep our kids safe. But the fact of the matter is, unless you're a local,
There it comes.
There
See
it is.
that school zone in 4 miles, and you heard the little beep in 0.4 of a mile?
But if
that
I-
could save you big bucks and also keep you safe.
If I didn't live in that area, I may not know.
You would not know.
So it's the perfect machine. And it helps even in a daily commute. If you run into a situation with some of the inclement weather that we've had, where your route has to be detoured, this can help you to get to where you need to be.
It'll recalculate.
Out here on the East Coast, our little towns and cities just kind of butt right up against one another. And the story of one of our friends who was in the town next to the town he lives in.
Yes, and now that, I'm glad you brought that up, because people think, oh, GPS, long trips when I'm going on vacation and everything. Everyday life, he had to get a check in the mail, a bill paid, that day before the last postal pickup. He was in the town next to him, but didn't know where the post office was, even though he was only a few miles from home. He did a couple of taps on the screen. For example, you can go to category, things like everyday life, right? And you can find post office, car washes, community services, and things like that. Tap it and get there. Saves you time, saves you money, and cuts down on your stress.
It's the 52LM.
Brand
Again,
new.
your cell phone was not devised for GPS. In fact, they don't use normal global positioning. They use triangulation of cell phone towers. That doesn't help you all the time. And you're not using your data fee. When you own it, it's yours. There's no monthly fee. There's
Right.
no renewal.
Nope.
We've got it for $119.98.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you very,
Always a
very
pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
Take advantage of the Easy Pay. I want to update you. You might have seen this a little earlier.